right, getting a pretty late start tonight. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, and well, this was pretty last minute. I didn't know I was going to do this. I was actually pre-recording a video on this, and then I decided it was taking so long, and the editing was going to take so long. I might as well just do a live stream. I was not even halfway through the document. It's only 23 pages. So Tyler Perry was hit with a lawsuit for assault and harassment back in June for $260 million. And I heard Omar talk about that a little bit. I believe it was Omar. But I didn't read the whole lawsuit myself. But now I saw a few days ago, I think it was on Christmas or the day after Christmas, a second alleged victim has filed a lawsuit against him for $77 million. This is not a topic I've ever covered on this channel before. So full disclosure, guys, I know that a lot of people who follow me and look at my live streams, they're used to me taking a pretty strong stance on things. But if you've never seen me cover something from the beginning, I tend to be a little more reserved in my judgments. Tonight, I'm going to look at this second lawsuit that was filed by the second alleged victim, and we'll go through all those pages. And then I saw an article about some text messages that I don't know if are in this lawsuit or not. And if they're not, then we'll go over the text messages afterwards. If they are, then we don't have to do that. But we'll go through this, and I'm only getting this one side of the story. So remember, if you've been following this case and you're new to me, be patient and gentle with me, because I tend to, when I follow a story and I get more and more into it, I tend to take a stronger position as I know more of the facts. So tonight I'm just reacting to one side of the story. I'm going to try to keep a little bit of a distance in that I don't want to judge too harshly. I don't know anything about Tyler Perry. I don't know if he's a creepy guy, right? I don't know anything about the victim, alleged victim here, Mario Rodriguez, or the victim in the other lawsuit. So I haven't even, like I said, read that one in full. So we'll read this one tonight. And then the other one, since it was filed back in June, I feel like there's a lot more material out there related to that, a lot more info for me to catch up on. So I wanted to give myself a little more time before I go over that online. So I just want to make sure that I have all the facts that are out there before I, say anything about it. So with this one that was just filed 3 days ago, though, this is really the only legal document that we have to go over. So there's really, nothing too much that's holding me back on that. So this basically, to me, exists in a vacuum at this moment. I know nothing about Tyler's past. I know nothing about Mario's past. I know nothing about the other lawsuit other than what I heard watching another channel. And so we're going to take a look at this, and I'm, going to give my thoughts on it. But if there's information that I'm missing, just remember, I will eventually get to it. I do intend to kind of follow through on these things. I always do. So, all right, let me pull this up. So this was also filed in LA. Let me put this on real quick. Jags are 12-4, guys. That's pretty cool. That never happens. Well, not in a while. Anyways. Okay. So I'm going to skip over to down to the factual allegations, and we'll start from there. But the defendants here are Tyler Perry, right? And then Lionsgate Films. And then Does 1 through 50 inclusive. So Does 1 through 50 are a placeholder for other people who may be named in the lawsuit later on. As of right now, they're, John Does. They haven't been named yet, but they could be, if this is amended, later on added into the lawsuit. So maybe there will be more defendants later on. Maybe there won't. The complaint is for sexual assault, sexual battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is IIED. That's a really hard one to prove. Negligent retention, and we're going to skip down, like I said, to the factual allegations here. So it's not a super long document, but I just said, like, I was trying to do this pre-recorded, and I was just like, nah, it's not going to work that way. Give me 1 second to get some water. Okay. So Mr. Rodriguez, who is Mario, began his career as a model in 2013. So this is just talking about his background. He has 1 million followers. He's done Fashion Week in LA. He's hosted events in Europe. He's hosted the Latin Grammy Awards. He and Tyler, and like I said, I read the first part of this, so I can kind of paraphrase here. He and Tyler met at Equinox Gym in LA. He goes there 3 to 4 times a week. I guess I don't know why we need to know that, but if you've ever been to Equinox, I've only been to the ones in New York. Hey Bruce, what's up? How's it going? Whoa, move that real quick. If you've ever been to Equinox, it's like a really fancy, nice gym. I lived in student housing when I was in New York because I did some grad school there in forensic psych. I did like a semester out there. And I basically lived at Equinox because the showers in the dorms and everything, I was just like, I was 25 years old. You know, like I wasn't an undergrad, and all these kids who were like 18, 19, 17 even, getting away from their parents for the first time, living in the dorms, I was like, no, I gotta have someplace to go. So I went to an Equinox. Nice place. Not relevant to the lawsuit. I just tend to talk a lot when I'm doing these things. So not berries. Not too afraid I run into Laura. All right. So during one of his workouts, a trainer approached Mario and said that Tyler wanted to meet him and talk about an acting role that he wanted to offer him. Mario was surprised and excited. He gave the trainer his cell phone number. Tyler called Mario later that day. He said that he was writing a movie and it ended up being Medea's Halloween, and that he thought Mario would fit the role of a good-looking college student. Okay. Lionsgate was the distributor, and Lionsgate is also named in the lawsuit. Okay. Tyler also asked Mario questions about his personal life, where he grew up, his living situation. He was in an apartment in Hollywood at the time. Tyler told Mario he had already found Mario's Instagram modeling account, and he was impressed with his photos. Tyler asked Mario if he had a manager, how he got so many followers, how he was getting work. And when Mario told Tyler that he had never acted before, Tyler said, you know, I'm not a bad person to know and have in your corner. And that he believed that Mario could secure a role that they were discussing for Medea's Halloween, and that he also had other roles in other projects that Mario might be a good fit for. Tyler explained that someone would send Mario the script for Medea's Halloween. So he got the script. A week later, they did an official audition for the very good-looking college student role. Tyler called him a couple days later to tell him he got the role and congratulate him, saying, I told you you'd get it. And then they say clearly the audition was a formality given Tyler's position of power and his personal desire to have Mario work for him. All of this was happening very quickly, and Mario was extremely excited by the career opportunities that Mr. Perry was offering. Within a few weeks, Tyler invited Mr. Rodriguez to his Medea's Halloween co-stars. Okay, so him and Mario and the co-stars to Tyler's home for a meet and greet and to rehearse lines. Within a few weeks, Tyler then invited Mario to his home, but this time it was just Mario and Tyler alone. He told Mario about other projects that he was working on, and he reiterated that Mario would be a good fit for those roles. So, one sec, guys. Okay. So Mario's saying he felt thrilled and grateful at that point to have the role and to be of interest for additional roles. And then he thought that this was like his big break. So Tyler tells Mario that he has some time between shooting Medea's Halloween, and he wants to spend time with Mario and get to know him better. So then Tyler suggests they start drinking. So they start drinking. And then he says, let's go to my theater room and watch a movie. This is a kind of weird part here, which, like I said earlier, we're only getting one side of the story, but I find this to be very strange. So as it's laid out here, using only the information I have here, I find this a little strange. Tyler told Mario to keep his cell phone in the kitchen because there are cameras everywhere and they're always listening. I'm not really sure. What? Why does that mean you can't have your cell phone? Because there are cameras everywhere and listening? Why does that mean you can't have your cell phone? I don't understand that. That's a little weird to me. Okay. Mario found the request strange, but complied because it was Mr. Perry's house and he did not want to risk offending him. Mr. Perry led Mario to the theater room and put on a movie. Within a few minutes, Tyler was asking, or like continuously pausing the movie to ask him questions, which got more vulnerable and personal in nature, including questions about Mario's family, his childhood, and his personal traumas. Okay. Mario was in a very vulnerable state and became noticeably emotional. Tyler said, "You have a lot of trauma in you. Believe it or not, we have a lot in common." Tyler told Mario to stand up and said, "Come here, man. Let me hug you." Tyler hugged Mario and said, "It's not your fault." In the moment, Mario could not help but feel that Tyler was trying to reenact the famous scene between Matt Damon and Robin Williams from the acclaimed 1997 movie Good Will Hunting. Okay. And this is where things start to cross a line based on these allegations. So again, these are just allegations. I don't have the other side of the story at this point, but here's what Mario alleges to have happened. Okay. Tyler grabs Mario's shoulders and repeatedly says, "Man, I like your shoulders." He rubs Mario's shoulders and his chest while repeatedly telling him, hold on, and "Dang, man." Tyler then began to make sexual grunting sounds and saying, while he continued to rub his hands against Mr. Rodriguez's chest and shoulders. And I know that's not what the sounded like, but I'm sorry, I simply cannot enact that for you guys. I cannot. It's just too creepy. Again, only one side of the story here, so I'm just basing my opinions on this complaint, right? Mr. Rodriguez, Mario, immediately became confused and his body tensed up and froze. Tyler repeatedly told him to relax and that he had so much tension in his shoulders as he continued to rub them. Mario tried his best to stop Tyler without offending him for fear of losing out on an acting career that was being discussed only moments earlier. Okay. Mario then stepped away and sat back down in his chair, hoping that Tyler would just continue the movie. Instead, Tyler sat right next to Mario. He put his hand on Mario's leg and began rubbing his inner thigh right next to his penis. Tyler told Mario it's okay while he continued to rub his thigh. So, as the complaint is laid out, and again, I don't know the other side of the story, I'd like to be very careful saying that. If things happen the way that this man is explaining them as happening, that's if, then that's super creepy. If somebody's tense and they're obviously not reciprocating while somebody's like rubbing on you and you're not into it, then they never should get to a point where they're rubbing your inner thigh, right? It's just creepy. But like I said, I only have one side of the story here, so that's only if things happen the way that they did. So, okay. All right. Mario told Tyler he needed to use the restroom and walked out of the room, but Tyler persisted. Tyler told Mario, "Just relax. I promise I'm a good guy to know and have in your corner. You just need to relax and stop being so tense. And man, if you would just come, I would take care of you for the rest of your life and you wouldn't have to worry about anything. And I know you'll come around." Creepy. Mario repeatedly tried to play off Tyler's comments as a joke, and he tried to change the subject to work. But Tyler continued to make similar sexual comments. Okay. Mario left and went home. Shortly thereafter, filming for Neidigh's Halloween began. Okay, so here's some photos from that. Mario was extremely hopeful about the opportunity and posted a photo of himself preparing for his lines. Mario was in Atlanta for roughly 1 week of filming before he returned to LA. During the shooting, Mario only saw and interacted with Tyler on the set. Tyler did not sexually assault or attack Mario in Atlanta on set, but Tyler was not done. Okay. Mario was no longer working for Tyler at this time, and all contracts and agreements with Perry had expired. Mario remained in LA, and the two continued to exchange messages. In 2017, after filming for Neidigh's Halloween concluded, Tyler again began to invite Mario to his home so that he could tell Mr. Rodriguez, Mario, about scripts I'm writing, and yet again, how Mario might be a good fit for some of the roles, including a role from Neidigh's Halloween 2. I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Neidigh films. I saw one, and it must have been forever ago. Like this series has been going on forever. I think I was either high school or college age when I saw it. I saw one of them with my dad, I think it was, and it had something to do with a funeral. Neidigh at a funeral or something. You guys have to remind me. That's the only reason I've ever heard the name Tyler Perry, so I don't really know anything about him other than he does the Neidigh movies. Give me one sec to get some water. Okay. Let's keep going here. Based on Tyler's representations and Mario's hopes to grow his career, Mario agreed to visit. Oh, don't do that, dude. Don't do that. And here's where it's like, it's easy to sit here. And again, I don't have Tyler's side of the story. I'm just basing my opinions in this stream on this complaint, right? My opinions might change later on when I get more of the story from the other side. I don't know. But it's easy to sit here and say, you should have just said, no, I won't go to the house, right? Or, no, I won't do this. No, I won't do that. But for people who work in this industry, things are apparently like a lot more toxic than normal. And I know there's a lot of problems with regular office jobs, right? But the industry is a fucked up. Hollywood's a fucked up place to work, apparently. And things have changed a little bit, right? But it's still not great. Apparently, there's a lot of pressure people feel to kind of give in to inappropriate relationships with superiors if they feel like they might not get work otherwise. This guy's saying he thought it was his big break, that kind of thing. So it's, possible if things happen the way that he's describing them, if that he felt, pressured to the point he thought he couldn't say no, or he couldn't progress in his career. Because if you say no, not only will that person probably not hire you again, but they might talk to their friends in the industry, other people, and say, don't hire this guy. He's a problem, So it's possible. But like I said, I don't know much about Tyler, so. And I see some more people are coming in here, so thanks for coming. It's last minute stream, guys, but I appreciate everyone for hanging out tonight. So, all right. Based on Tyler's representations and Mario's hopes to grow his career, Mario agreed to visit. During the first few visits, they talked about work and their personal lives. Mario told Tyler that he and his girlfriend had a baby on the way, so Mario's expecting a baby at this point, which was both exciting and scary. After a couple of visits, Tyler then again began to make more sexual comments to Mario about Mario's physique and appearance and to ask him graphic sexual questions. Among other things, Tyler asked Mario if he ever had sex with another man. Mario tried to laugh off the question as a joke and told Tyler that he never had and that he did not have sexual interest in men. Tyler then asked Mario if he had ever fantasized or thought about being with another man, and Mario said no. Tyler was aware that Mario was financially stressed out about having a baby. As a result, he told Mario, if you would just give in to me, I would take care of you, and you would never have to worry about anything again. So it's like when Mario's describing what's happening here, these lines, these phrases are exactly the same as what he alleged before. Which, I don't know, it seems a little odd to me. Because he's saying that this is all that Tyler was saying on that one night. And the exact same things are what he's saying on that day. I don't know. It's a little interesting. So I'm interested to hear the other side of the story there. But he's alleging the exact same thing was said twice. And it's not impossible, right? But exactly the same way. I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. All right. Mr. Perry, Tyler, also told Mario that Tyler was himself sexually molested as a kid and that he had a lot of trauma and abandonment issues in efforts to lure Mario into trusting Tyler at home. Okay. And so when we read about kind of what happened early on in this interactions between these two, and then what we're reading now, initially, before we read about the kind of weird rubbing of the thigh and stuff like that, it sounded like there wasn't really anything untoward happening there. It was kind of like maybe there was some oversharing, but it wasn't anything too creepy yet. The thing that was creepy was the rubbing of the thighs and the chest and the, like allegedly continuing to push someone who was like very tense and uncomfortable with what was going on. So, it does sound a little creepy. It does sound pretty creepy. All right. Talking about trauma in and of itself is not a problem per se, but the direction that this is apparently going in based on these allegations in this context, the conversation is a little weird, right? So like if they were just friends who were hanging out at his house and he wasn't making advances towards this guy, then it's like, whatever, fine. Talk to your friends about whatever you want to talk about if you have that kind of friendship. But given the kind of weird touching and uncomfortable physical situations that he's apparently allegedly putting this man in that context, it is creepy. So, all right. Tyler would then use discussion of his own traumas to sexually assault. Sexually assault Harry. I think he means sexually assault Mario, right? So they just made a typo here. So Tyler would use his discussions of his own traumas to sexually assault Mario. Tyler grabbed Mario's leg right along his penis while rubbing it. Perry, God, lawyers, proofread your documents. God, I'm sorry. When I make a typo, I like fixate on it. So I shouldn't be so rude, but I just can't help it. All right. And so Tyler grabs Mario right alongside his penis and rubbing it, and he's saying it's all right. Mario tries to stop it and distance himself from Tyler while trying to navigate maintaining the discussed career and work opportunities. Okay. Tyler continued to push past Mario's refusals until Mario, in a rush, I think they mean, not in a rush, in a rush, excused himself and went home. Okay. Tyler was evoking Mario's traumatic history, not as a caring friend, but to exploit an emotional vulnerability to push his sexual advances and assaults. Okay, so I'm not sure that they've really established this. I feel like there are a couple of details missing for them to definitively say that's what was going on there. I don't have the other side of the story, first of all. And second, I feel like there's a missing link or two between connecting those conversations to the sexual advances. I don't know. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it didn't happen that way. I'm just saying I don't know if they are making their case as well as they could to connect those dots. But maybe. Okay. Ultimately, because Mario continually rejected Tyler's sexual advances and assaults, Tyler never hired him for Medea's Halloween 2, despite all of their conversations for new roles for Mario. Mario was traumatized and conflicted. He had felt like he lost an opportunity that may never come back, but he was hoping that maybe Tyler would turn around. All right. One sec here, guys. Okay. On or around November 14th, 2018, so this is like 7 years ago, right? Tyler told Mario that he was in Los Angeles and he wanted to meet him for dinner, okay, to discuss work and a project called The Oval. I've never heard of that one. I don't know if guys in the chat, if you've ever seen that or if it ever came to fruition, but I've never heard of it. Although Mario, in the back of his mind, was concerned about further assaults, he accepted to be in a public environment with Perry, hoping to jumpstart his career again. Okay. All right. Upon arriving, Tyler saw actor and wrestler John Cena and introduced him to Mario. Tyler believed he and Mario were now together as a result of the dinner. Okay. Mario started feeling uncomfortable, yet he made strenuous efforts to change his perception of the experience so that he could discuss work. Mario was hoping that his feelings about Tyler were wrong. Okay, but so he wants to meet for dinner to discuss work. And they say Tyler introduces Mario to John Cena. But what's the link between that and they're saying Tyler believed that he and Mario were together like a couple? What's the link between that and the thing of the couple? So like if they run into John Cena at the restaurant and he introduces him, but what is the connection between that and Tyler believing they were a couple? I need to see some more concrete kind of explanation there. That's a little weird to me. So there are some gaps here that I'm not understanding. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that's definitely not what happened. I'm just saying they're not convincing me based on the way they've laid it out. Let's put it that way. I'm keeping an open mind here, just saying I'm not totally convinced based on what I'm seeing right here. One second. Hey, Rob, what's up? I never saw a Neidigh movie. Isn't there like 7 or more of them? There's got to be more than 7, right? There's got to be more than 7 at this point. I don't know. All right. Anyways, moving on. Tyler had them. Oh, okay. I see. The chronology is just, I haven't gotten there yet. Tyler had them seated in a private room and began to discuss the Oval and told Mario that he would be a good fit for possible roles, including police officer. As was his tactic, Tyler started the conversation with work opportunities and then turned it sexual. Okay, so I just got ahead of myself there. I feel like they would make their case better if they put this right here below this stuff, because that made me pause right there and think, what are you talking about? This doesn't add up. But actually, they explained themselves. It's just afterwards. Okay. How you tell your story is very important, guys. It can kind of make or break somebody feeling like you're making sense or not. I think I'm being a little too harsh here, but let's just keep moving on. Okay. At one point in the conversation, Tyler asked in a way that made his intentions clear. So what are we? What are we doing? Okay, I see. Mario responded, what do you mean? We're friends. Tyler became irritated with that answer and asked, are you going to give in? Oh, that's creepy. Mario played dumb to try and end the questioning, saying, I don't know what you mean. We're just friends. So don't play dumb there. Say we're just friends and that's it. Just say like, we're just friends. I do not want a romantic relationship with you. But like, I understand the pressure and I understand it's not as easy as me sitting here and I'm not in the moment with those people. Like, I can't tell you how much pressure is there and how hard that was. So it's easy for me to judge. But again, I'm only getting one side of the story here. So Tyler became visibly frustrated and told Mario to finish his drink and meet him at Tyler's house to discuss Mario's acting career. Okay, at that point, no. Do not go to that man's house. Okay. Tyler texted Mario that he was going to stop on the way home and get a bottle of Real, referring to Don Julio 1942 Añejo tequila, also known as, is it Real? Is it real? I don't know. Guys, I don't drink tequila like that anymore. And if I did, it was like the cheap stuff. So somebody help me out with that. I don't know how to say it. All right, anyways. Rodriguez clearly expressed his stance on having a relationship with Perry. Okay. And believed Tyler understood the conversation would be just about career acting opportunities. So this man has continuously pushed your boundaries. Your self-preservation instincts need to kick in here and be like, he always says it's only going to be about this, but then it ends up being something sexual. So at that point, I know. But it's, if you establish your boundaries over and over again and somebody refuses to respect them, that's also not your fault. So it's... two things can be true. Your self-preservation instincts they need some work, but also it's totally the fault of the person who crosses your boundaries if you make them clear and they continue to cross them. So, all right. Okay, there's a text here. It says, I'm going to run down and get a bottle. I'll be back in 20. I'm headed back. He on the way. All right, we don't need to see that really. As a result, Mario let himself believe he could go to Tyler's house and talk about his career in acting while holding the line on potential sexual assaults if it happened again. Okay. Once at the house, Tyler spoke briefly about work while pouring drinks, which made Rodriguez comfortable again. I'm sorry. So he's pouring tequila for Mario, and then Mario starts drinking it, and he's feeling comfortable again. And then before long, Tyler sits up close to Mario and asks Mario if he liked to get a blowjob. Whoa. Tyler asked Mr. Rodriguez, Mario, if he had ever given a blowjob to a man. Mario excused himself to the kitchen to get some water, hoping that Tyler would get the hint to change the subject. Instead, Tyler followed him to the kitchen and poured him another drink of tequila. Then, Tyler tightly hugged Mario and repeatedly told him to hold on while Tyler tried to unbuckle Mario's pants. Okay. Shocked, Mario tried to use his body to push Mr. Perry away, stating, whoa, what are you doing? Tyler reached into Mario's underwear and grabbed his penis. Tyler was making sexual moaning noises and saying, stay here, stay here. Ew. Sorry, it's creepy. This is getting creepy. While he pressed his body against Mario and continued to grab his penis. Mario again tried to push Tyler away, who responded, just relax, let it happen. Do not do that. Ugh. Mario repeatedly told Tyler to stop, but Tyler kept holding him and pressing his body against Mario. Mario had to physically struggle to get away from Tyler and told, I think they mean told Tyler that he was leaving, but again, there's a typo, which is kind of important. Mr. Perry told Mario that he should stay and sleep over since he had been drinking. Mario knew that he could not stay there because he would not have been safe and thought that Tyler would sexually force himself upon him. Okay, so Mario gets an Uber ride to go home. While he's waiting for the Uber, Tyler tries to apologize for the sexual assault, saying, hey, my bad, my bad. My guy. So if things actually happen the way that they're being described here, my bad is not going to do it. Okay? You stay the fuck away from that, man. You're creepy. Tyler, afraid of consequences for his sexual assaults, then stepped away for a minute, returned, and stuffed $5,000 into Mario's pocket. Mario was in shock. Yikes. The next morning, Tyler was eager to feel out Mario and what the consequences might be for his sexual assault. Tyler called Mario, told him he was in the area, that he would drive Mario to pick up his car, which was left at his home the prior night. Later, on December 9th, 2018, Tyler again invited Mario to his home, texting, "How about that tequila? And I just got a new bottle." Okay. This is very creepy. Give me one sec. Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, Mario, agreed to go over because Tyler had made him believe that Tyler was sorry for assaulting him. The $5,000 and reaching out back to him about the situation and making light of it was a sign of Tyler's understanding of his guilt and of the mistake Perry made. Yikes. Even though a lucid Mario would be concerned about a worse assault, Mario could not get past the potential of living his dream of being a movie star and the fame and fortune that would accompany him that was being dangled in front of him. Okay, I understand. Rodriguez, Mario, hoped that Tyler would stop sexually assaulting him after Tyler apologized the last time. Tragically, Tyler mistook Mario's visit as an invitation to sexually assault him again. Once Mario arrived, Tyler wanted to feel out how Mario felt about his November 14th sexual assault, saying, "That was a crazy night, right?" Speaking as though it was innocently two consenting adults who made a mutual decision after drinks. Okay. Mario did not want to relive or discuss the assault, but also wanted Tyler to understand he crossed the line, responding, "Yeah, too crazy." Tyler only laughed in response. Throughout the night, Tyler would give Mario long hugs, massage his shoulders, and find any excuse or reason to touch him while making flirty and sexual comments, but would sprinkle talks about potential work as well. Ugh, gross. Guys, again, I'm only getting one side of the story here, so my opinion may change if I hear the other side of the story and see different evidence, but just based on this complaint, if things happened, big if, again, I'm always operating on the if here. If things happen the way this man is describing, that is so fucking creepy. And the sprinkling work talks in is like a creepy, creepy thing to do. Ugh. This time, Mario left and excused himself before things escalated. Mario was fearful that Tyler would continue to escalate again and saw that Tyler was not at all remorseful. Mario could not continue to secretly carry the shame of Tyler's sexual assaults. Around this time, Mario began to disclose Tyler's sexual assaults to close friends. At the end of 2018 or early 2019, Tyler again invited Mario to his home in California to discuss some potential roles. Since time had passed and this was Mario's only way to break into the industry after years of not finding other roles, he agreed. Oof. When Mario arrived, Tyler told Mario to leave his cell phone in the kitchen and that it was not safe to speak in the areas of the house that had cameras. Okay, this still doesn't make sense to me because that's what he said before, right? I'm like, how is it not safe to speak in the areas of the house that have cameras? Like, just keep your phone in your pocket. You don't have to leave it in the kitchen. There's nothing unsafe about that. Like, just don't, if you know there are cameras and you're aware there are cameras, what's unsafe about that? What's unsafe about having your cell phone? Nothing. Can anyone explain to me why that would be unsafe? Or is this just fucking unreasonable? But again, only getting one side of the story here. There's gotta be more to this one detail than what I'm seeing because it just does not make any sense at all. No sense. Jesus. Okay. Anyways. Mario literally texted him last year asking for money, mentioning his dead father, etc. Tyler didn't respond back. No, I hear you. And I saw that there's after I'm finished reading this, I saw that there's something about text messages in another article I read. But like I said, at the beginning of the stream, I don't know if you saw it or not. I said, I don't really know anything about these people. And this is the only legal document we have right now. So I'm just basing my opinions on this, but also trying to stay a little bit withdrawn in the sense that I want to leave room to change my mind because I know I'm only getting one side of the story. So this is just me reading what we have right now. That's all. I'm just doing the best I can with what I got. But like I said, not making any definitive judgments here. I'm just saying my reactions to what I'm reading, basically, if that makes sense. So hopefully you guys understand. Okay. I mean, the same thing kind of happened when I started reading Blake and Justin's case. I read Blake's complaint first, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to leave some room to change my mind. And then, my God, did I change my mind. So I'm very much like keeping an open mind. I'm just trying to react to what I have in front of me. So without being too set in stone. All right. Let's see. Tyler sat next to Mario in the living room, turned on a football game, and began to pour alcoholic drinks. Okay, Tyler would fill Mario's drinks to the brim and tell him that he wanted to see Mario drink all of it. Mario knew that he had to stay aware while drinking with Tyler, and he would drink one and pour one out. Tyler asked, "How are you still standing?" Okay, why don't you just pour all of them out? At that point, like, pour all of them out. But things were going well, and Mario dropped his guard. He felt that maybe now he can get a new role without having to succumb to Tyler's sexual assaults. That soon changed. As the game ended, Tyler grabbed Mario's hand and placed it on Tyler's penis and told him that if you were to just be with me, I would take care of you and you wouldn't have to ever worry about anything. So this line is being repeated over and over again throughout these, documents. I like these pages. I don't know how accurate it is. I'm just kind of like, he literally says the same thing every single time. Like, that's kind of cringy. More than cringy, but you know what I mean. Like, even if this were a consenting person, like, that's a cringy thing to say over and over again. Creepy. All right. Mario immediately froze, and Tyler told him, don't worry about it, and to just relax, as he had done before. Mario excused himself, said it was getting late, and that he needed to leave. Tyler knew that he again crossed the line by grabbing Mario and putting his hand on Tyler's penis. Tyler once again apologized and stuffed another $5,000 cash in Mario's pocket and sent him away. Jesus. Rich people on their cash, dude. Crazy. All right. After that, Tyler would occasionally call or FaceTime Mario. On or around April 8th, 2019, Tyler told Mario to come over again and that he would only be in LA for a day, and there were some new developments. Okay. Mario was exhausted and did not want to go, but Tyler insisted it would be just about work. Mario didn't believe it, but knew that he would not drink or do anything that would put him in a bad place. During that visit, after engaging in small talk, Tyler got close to Mario and then again forced himself on Tyler. Tyler wrapped his arms around Mario, grabbed Mario's butt, and grabbed his penis. Ew. Okay. More than ever before, it was clear that Tyler would do whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted, to whomever he wanted, no matter how many times he was rejected. Mario became very upset and went home. Okay. All right. Mario then stopped talking to Tyler, stopped communicating with him. Mario was never cast in any more films since the first Neidigh Halloween movie. Later on June 4th, 2019, Tyler became annoyed that Mario distanced himself. Tyler sent a slew of messages calling Mario an asshole, and I haven't heard from you. Mario, not wanting to get into the real reason why he distanced himself from Tyler, said he was distant because he did not want to bother Tyler while he was on tour. Tyler responded a text saying, "No, you're busy, just saying hi is what all my friends do," and told Mario to fuck off. After Mario did not respond to his liking, Tyler asked, "Nothing to say? That's it?" Oh, God. Don't be that guy. Tyler! Okay. Even if you're like I said, in a mutually consenting relationship, don't fucking do that. Okay, so here are the texts. It says, "You okay? You okay? You okay? I'm great." No, I'm not repeating that word. "You okay, asshole?" Mario says, "You mad? I don't understand." Tyler says, "I haven't heard from you. I ain't mad. Why? You're never going to text unless something's going on." "Oh, okay, bro. I know you're busy. Just didn't want to bother you." Tyler says, "Saying hello ain't a bad thing." Mario says, "I know you're on tour." Tyler says, "Whatever, my tour is over." Mario says, "I'm sorry, man. I thought something happened, man." "I know." Tyler says, a text saying, "No, you're busy. Just saying hi is what all my friends do. Good night. Fuck off." Okay, well, he might have been drinking that tequila again. I don't know. Mario at the end of this says, "It's been a crazy few months for me. My dad is dying. My son's mom got cancer. So my son's living with me, my older son. I barely have time to work out. I'm sorry I didn't text you." Okay. At this point, Mario realized how upset Tyler was and tried to apologize. Mario was apologizing because he felt the cold truth that he would never get to be an actor again and that his hopes and dreams would be gone if he was no longer on good terms with Tyler. Okay. This was a hard reality to accept for Mario. Tyler still insisted I deserve a text at least once a month. Okay. One second, I need some water. Just to get some insight here, why would you apologize to someone who assaulted you? I mean, I've said this before. It's never like a super easy thing to talk about, but my abuser, I was never really ready to recognize what happened until years later, until I had a lot of distance, until I'd really come to terms with it. I apologized numerous times to my abuser because I thought it was my fault. And I thought by not giving him what he wanted, I was doing something wrong. I saw him after it happened. I was nice to him after it happened. So it's not really that simple. I just want to be clear about that. I'm not saying that Tyler is guilty of anything. I'm saying it's not that black and white. And I know that from experience. So personally, I'm trying not to pass too much judgment. I know that's the snap kind of feeling I get too as well. I also think those things, but then I'm like, wait a minute, let me think back to my own experience and why I did what I did. And it doesn't mean that what happened wasn't horrible. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to keep an open mind here. And like I said, I'm just reacting to what's on the page and I'm keeping my mind open. So, all right. Okay. Although he had no desire to meet with Tyler, Mario was stuck between a rock and a hard spot and asked Tyler when he would be back in Los Angeles to try and ease his anger and resentment. Tyler then immediately took this as an invitation to again begin harassing Mario with comments and questions about his body. Okay, like what? Let me see this. Okay, so Mario's saying, this is weird, a little weird. Mario's saying to Tyler, I have my hands full and I always still think about you. Even though I don't text, I think about you, love you, it's okay, you didn't know. So that's something that gives me pause. I'm kind of like, that's weird. Like I said, not unheard of. I try to put things into the context of my own experience. That's just how I relate to things and to people a lot of the time. So I don't want to go too hard on him here, but it's enough to give me pause. Let's put it that way. I'm kind of like, why would you say something like that? So I'm at least thinking, what's the other side of this story? When he puts this in text, I'm kind of like, okay. Yeah, that's a little weird. Okay. But I don't know. I don't have a fully formed or informed opinion yet. So Tyler then immediately took this as an invitation to again begin harassing him. Okay. Tyler texted Mario, how's your training coming? Are these current pics? I want to see pics from now. You was fat. That's terrible. Referring to Mr. Rodriguez's butt. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So you was fat, referring to his butt. Some people, I can't believe I even have to explain this, but I know some people are going to be like, oh my God, and they don't understand. Some people like when people call their butts fat. Okay. Some people want to have a fat butt. I really don't know what else to say about that. Like, you never know if somebody wants to be told they have a fat butt or not. It's like a totally personal decision. So I don't know if that was insulting or what. Okay. I don't know. Oh man. Just give me a second. I need a drink. Okay. So, like I said, some people like to be told they have a fat butt. I don't know if Mario is one of those people. I don't know. I'm not going to pass any judgment there. Because he may be. All right. I don't know what kind of conversation they had off the text. Let's see. They're just texting there. There's not too much going on. Losing weight from stress, but beneficial. He's talking about his training. I got to make it, man. All this stuff happening to me pushed me like nothing else. I don't know what stuff he's talking about. I guess what he was just explaining above. Are these current pics? I took this a week ago. Last time I saw you, you wasn't like that. And lighting can be deceiving. Okay. He's saying you got a spray tan, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God. Sorry. I just can't imagine having a conversation like this. I'm bored. I want to see pictures from now. Where are the pictures from that shoot? This makes me want to put this cookie down. What? This makes me want to put this cookie down. Shit, if you cut up like this since the last time I saw you, then I need to be ashamed of myself. How's your training coming? We're still talking about that same text thread. And why does it look like these are the same text but with different? Okay, I want to see picture now. Where the picture? Let's shoot. Right, got that. And then he says you was fat, but we don't see the text messages above that. It's like cut off here. That doesn't make sense. You always had shoulders, but where is that weight loss in your legs, stomach? Oh, don't say that, dude. Don't say that. You'll see on my way again for good this time. Tyler says, ain't no girl attracted to man's shoulders. Well, I don't know if that's true, actually. But you guys would have to tell me. Okay, so they're just talking about him working out. I'm like super not interested in that. Thereafter and through 2024, Tyler would randomly reach out to Mario. Mario never received any additional roles or work from Tyler. Well, did he ask about them? Did they actually talk about did they continue talking about it or ask about it? Because things change in the industry, like projects get dropped and shit like that. Like, did he actually have a role promised to him that he didn't get an audition for? Did that actually happen? Because I'm not getting that from what he's describing here. It just sounds like they never talked about those projects again, but it doesn't sound like nothing in here is telling me that there were projects that they were talking about that actually came to fruition. There's a lot from point A to point B, so to speak, as far as getting a project off the ground, a movie actually produced and put out there in the industry. So even I know that, but you know, I don't really know what else to say about that. I think, again, you need to do more to convince me that he actually withheld roles from you that you were promised, or at least, you know, told you would get an audition or something like that. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Rodriguez never received any additional roles, blah, blah, blah. In 2025, Derek Dixon filed his own sexual harassment and sexual assault lawsuit against Mr. Perry with allegations strikingly similar. Right, but that doesn't prove anything. So it doesn't mean, again, I know nothing about Derek Dixon or whatever, but, you know, I don't know anything about that guy. I haven't read that lawsuit yet. I intend to, but I haven't. I just listened to like some of the lawyers talk about it, but I want to read it in full myself to make my own opinion. But just because allegations have been made before by a different person does not automatically make someone guilty of like another person accusing them of something. So that's something you want to be careful with, because it's so easy these days to do a pile-on. Especially with like cancel culture and all that, it is so easy to do pile-ons like that the law is going to have to consider these things separately, right? So that lawsuit, especially the fact that he wasn't actually found responsible for anything, it's just somebody filed a lawsuit. Somebody could have written on Twitter that Tyler Perry assaulted them. It wouldn't make it true, right? So I think putting that in here, I'm just kind of like, that doesn't really do anything to convince me that what you're saying is true necessarily. Like, yes, there was another lawsuit filed, but I need you to convince me that what you're saying is true, and this is not doing that. This is just kind of deflecting to be like, look at what he's done. You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, like, I don't know. If he were, it's different. If Tyler Perry had been like convicted of something, or if he had been found liable for something, and you mentioned that, then I might think about it. But just somebody making a complaint in another scenario, like, no, that doesn't do much for me. Like I said, I need to keep an open mind. I might change my mind later on when I've read everything, and I definitely do, you know, allow my opinions to be challenged when I go through reading stuff like this, and I might change my mind. But as of right now, reading that sentence right there, I'm kind of like, this doesn't really do much for me, other than make me feel like you're maybe possibly building off of an opportunity that you're seeing here based on what I've seen so far. I don't know. I don't know how much truth is being told here and how much of it is not accurate. I haven't heard the other side of the story, but this isn't doing anything to help my opinion. Let's put it that way. Okay. See, on June 18th, one of Mario's friends who learned of the lawsuit texted Mario about the lawsuit. Mario responded, oh shit, he's at it again. When's he gonna learn? To which his friend responded, when he ends up like Diddy, referring to Sean Diddy Combs, who recently received a 50-month prison sentence. So again, one of Mario's friends who learned of the lawsuit texted Mario about the lawsuit. So your friend texted you about someone and said, oh my gosh, he's like Diddy or whatever. That, again, that doesn't prove anything. I'm just kind of like, why are you showing me your DMs with your buddy? That doesn't do anything for me. I think they should have kept that out, but all right. Mario realized that Tyler was continuing to use his power and influence to sexually assault hopeful actors, and with the voice of others, decided that it was time to tell his story to obtain justice and to finally stop Mr. Perry. I'm sorry. Okay. So this right here, this might be good for a press play, I guess. Legally, I'm not a lawyer, guys, but legally, I don't think this is doing much for me. This right here is just kind of making it look like a pile-on. I'm kind of like, okay, so you and your friends were talking shit about him, and that's something that you want people to know. For what purpose? I don't understand. You're showing me your DMs with your friend. Like, I don't really know what that means for me as far as who I believe in this scenario. And this right here, again, I don't know. I don't know that you've done a whole lot to convince me that that is true. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying I'm not totally 100% convinced after reading this complaint. This is just my opinion on the complaint in front of me. So, all right. When Perry became aware that Mario was going to file this action, Tyler once again reached out to Mario by text, telling Mario that Perry did so much to help Mario and that Tyler was feeling betrayed by Mario. Okay, but again, that's actually not something that I feel like helps your case. Because we know there's another side to the story here that we haven't heard yet. So this, I would have left this out. I definitely would have left this out if I were them. I don't know. So the causes of action, of course, sexual assault, sexual battery. They're saying emotional distress, intentional infliction of emotional distress. I mean, Tyler conspired to and did engage in conduct that was extreme and outrageous and intentionally caused severe emotional distress, including PTSD to plaintiff. So you're going to have a really hard time, I think, from a legal standpoint, from what I know, just from following cases like this, you're going to have a really hard time proving that what he did was intentionally inflicting emotional distress upon you. That's just a hard claim in general to prove, I think. And also it gets really personal. Like, you're going to have to show your kind of private records to convince the court or the jury or whoever that they actually did that. So that's going to be a hard one. I don't know about that. Negligent retention is the fourth cause of action. Okay. Yeah. So I think that one is the one against Lionsgate. Would it be? Hang on. Yeah, that would have more to do with Lionsgate. Lionsgate hires and supervises Perry for Perry services, so that's why Lionsgate is named in this lawsuit as well. So they're saying that Lionsgate, I guess, kept Tyler Perry when they knew, or should have known, that Tyler Perry was abusive, is what he's alleging here. So that's kind of interesting. And then again, the John Doe's 1 through 50 above, that somebody else might be named in this. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. And they're asking for $77 million. $77 million. All right, then. So, but, and I hate using TMZ as a source, but I do want to make sure that I, kind of go over a little bit of this side of things, because I did see this come up today. Before we sign off for the night, let's see. Alleged text from, what the, sorry about that, fucking TMZ ass shit. What the, sorry, okay, there we go. Alleged text from sexual assault accuser asked Perry for money. Okay, so let's see. And that must be Mario. I've never seen him, so I'm assuming that's Mario. We've obtained alleged text between Mario and Tyler, with several sent on August 31st of this year. So that was just 4 months ago. A little less than 4 months ago. So this is from, allegedly from Mario to Tyler Perry. It says, brother, I haven't been feeling okay, confused and a little nauseous. I got blood work. Think it's my teeth. I know it's none of your business. I don't know. What do I know? I promised you I would never ask you for anything, but if it is what I think it is, I don't think I could do it on my own because I barely pay my bills. Scared AF. I don't want to get sepsis like my dad and pass away. Oh my God, these ads. Sorry. I don't even want to mention it because I don't want to make it real. Feel sick most days. Never told anybody this, but my mom and everybody is starting to notice my broke ass. Don't have insurance. I'd never lie to you, but I think that's what's wrong. My dentist is supposed to take care of in Beverly Hills, but he's in prison for fraud. Well, that's not a good sign, buddy. My dentist is supposed to take care of this, but he's in prison for fraud. Get another dentist, bro. Whoa. What the fuck? All right. I've always been healthy, but lately I've been waking up confused and dizzy and a bunch of stuff. I just can't go to the doctor because I can't even afford it. I don't want anything. I just want to be okay. Scared, brother. All right. So those are texts. He said he hadn't been feeling well recently and blaming it on his teeth. He's worried about getting sepsis and dying. Let's see these texts. Just know that I love. These are texts again to Tyler. Just know that I love you and I thank you for everything. I appreciate you to the moon. Okay. This is a little bit much. Like I said, I always try to withhold judgment a little bit on both sides because I know that the way that, you know, victims act after being abused is not always, it's not a linear thing. Some people do continue to have some sort of relation to their past abuser, but like saying, and this was everything that is being alleged here happened 7+ years ago. So him saying 4 months ago, I love you and I thank you for everything. I appreciate you to the moon. That's sketchy. Yeah. That's sketchy. You got my ex-Mexican ass out of a lot of bad places, and I want to tell you thank you. I can't buy you anything, but I just want to tell you that your boy right here appreciates you more than anything. Straight from my heart, bro. Nothing I wouldn't do for you, man. Anyways, enjoy your time, and I hope I see you again soon. Yeah. First, this is why I don't leave the house. Yeah. All right. Tyler says, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. You've been through it. I'm glad you're doing well. You don't have to give me a thing or pay me a thing. I'm just glad you're good. Okay. I'm still going through it, but you know me, man. I'm a survivor just like you are, and I'm glad that you're my friend, and I love you, bro, respectfully. Wow. Okay. As you know, Rodriguez filed a sexual assault and battery lawsuit. Yep. Okay. And then Perry's attorney says, this is nothing but a $77 million money grab scam. And then TMZ did not hear back from Mario. So, like I said, I wanted to take a look at those texts before we signed off for the night because I think that really changes my feelings about things. There's a whole other side to the story that I haven't heard yet, but that, yeah, I don't know, man. If you're sending those texts 4 months ago and now you're suing for $77 million, I have a hard time feeling that even if something else comes up and it's absolutely true what this guy is saying, I have a hard time believing that he's entitled to $77 million. I don't know. But the reason I don't know is because I'm like, there's this whole other side of the story that I don't know yet. But while keeping in mind that nobody's like a perfect victim and like victims respond differently to seeing their abusers again, talking to their abusers again. If you're reaching out to somebody like that 4 months before filing a $77 million lawsuit, saying how much you love them and appreciate everything like that, like, nah, that's a nah. I'm not saying it definitely nothing happened absolutely for sure. I'm saying I'm questioning it. I very much question it at that point. So that's text message that we saw was obviously not in the complaint that we read. So when Tyler's response to that comes out, I'll be back to read it on the stream. I will read the other lawsuit as well and kind of go through that and see what I think about it. But oof. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have enough information to be like Tyler Perry needs to be burned at the stake. You know what I mean? I don't have enough information right now to say Tyler Perry is a person who's guilty of sexual assault. Let's put it that way. I don't feel comfortable saying that Tyler Perry did what he's accused of at all. Especially not after that. There's like so much more to the story that we haven't seen apparently. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for tonight. I think I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure. We have to do that second part of Jamie Heath's deposition reading. There's a lot of other stuff I want to get to. If you have any suggestions for what you want me to cover after the stream is over, put them in the comments under the video, and I'll be sure to look into it or at least put it on the list. But yeah, so I am going to sign off for now. Don't forget to hit the like button for me because that helps me out with visibility and stuff. So the video is the most upsetting thing. If it's not upsetting, I think I'll watch it offline. Let's put it that way. No, I haven't seen a video. I had never heard of this until today. So at least I don't think so. I don't think so. I heard about the other one. I'd never heard of this one until today. So I haven't. I'll watch it though, because like I said, I'm going to be back to cover the other side of this. Doesn't really matter if the $77 million is much to Tyler. To be honest, like I think that it sets kind of a dangerous precedent to give that much money to somebody for if they can't make their case very, very definitively. You know what I mean? So it's going to depend on how this plays out. Whether or not the person in question who's paying the 77 mil is rich or not is not really a concern to me. I'm concerned with, I'm very worried about, you know, people using the system for improper purposes. Let's put it that way. So I want to make sure that that's not what's going on here. But my final conclusion is I don't fucking know. I don't know what I think here. So you guys get to hear my thoughts in real time, which is, well, I'm sorry for that, but it is what it is at this point. So, all right. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you later.